Please welcome VP, Database, Analytics, and Machine Learning, AWS, Swami Sivasubramanian.
Thank you all so much for being here today and giving me a chance to speak with you. A lot has happened in the last year, and with all this change, we have an opportunity to reevaluate, enhance, and optimize the technology that supports our success. I also believe it's a time for net new ideas. These are the sparks of invention that enable us to solve really complex problems and reimagine how we do things. And when you're backed by the most transformative, innovative technologies, you can bring these amazing ideas to life. One of those transformative technologies that's gaining a lot of traction today is generative AI. Generative AI has captured our imaginations for its ability to create images and videos, write stories, and even generate code. I believe it will transform every application, industry, and business. So you might be wondering, with so much potential, why is this technology that has been percolating for many decades suddenly seeing so much traction only just now? That is because this technology has reached its tipping point. The convergence of technological progress and the value of what it can accomplish today. That's because we have massive proliferation of data and the availability of extremely scalable compute infrastructure. And the advancement of ML technologies over time, generative AI is finally taking shape. In particular, these ML innovations have made the capabilities of AI possible just within the last months. Let me give some background. For example, traditional forms of machine learning allowed us to take simple inputs, like numerical values, and map them to simple outputs, like predicted values. And then deep learning came along, where we could take complicated inputs, like videos or images, and map them to relatively simple outputs. And now with generative AI, we can leverage this massive amounts of complex data to capture and present knowledge in more advanced ways, mapping complicated inputs to complicated outputs. These stepwise improvements in functionality were supported by stepwise improvements in the underlying ML models themselves. That's because traditional ML models used architectures that require months of costly and manual data preparation, data labeling, and model training, all to do one specific task. The large models that power these generative AI applications, called foundational models, are driven by the transformer neural net architecture. That significantly cuts down on this development process. With this architecture, models can be trained on massive amounts of unlabeled data in the pre-training stage, so that they can be used out of the box for a wide variety of generalized tasks. And they can be used and easily adapted for particular domains or applications with relatively very small amount of unlabeled data. This process of customization is also known as fine-tuning. The ability to easily customize a pre-trained model through fine-tuning is an absolute game changer. It is substantially faster. It also requires a lot less computation time and a lot less data for fine-tuning than spending months of creating a task-specific machine learning model. So while what used to take months of scientists to build ML model for one task can now be done relatively easy with one big model and fine-tuning to accomplish the same goal. So today, Gen AI is being applied to use cases from all lines of business, from engineering to customer service to finance. You can improve customer experiences through capabilities like virtual chatbots, virtual assistants. You can boost your employees' productivity with text summarization and code generation. You can turbocharge production of all types of content, like art, music, or animations. And you can use generative AI to improve business operations. So what do customers need to do to unlock the value of generative AI for their use cases? The first thing is you need access to best-in-class foundational models. We know model choice is paramount because there is going to be no one model to rule them all. It's about choosing the right model for the right job. Then the customers need the ability to securely customize these models with their data. And then they need easy-to-use tools to democratize generative AI within their organizations and improve employee productivity. And underpinning all of this is you need to keep your costs and latency low with purpose-built ML infrastructure. We are delivering all of this to our customers through Amazon Bedrock. With Bedrock, customers can easily build and scale Gen AI applications with a selection of industry-leading FMs, all with a simple API without managing any infrastructure. Amazon Bedrock makes it easy to customize these foundational models with your data, with just a few labeled examples in Amazon S3. All data in Bedrock is encrypted, and your data is never used to train the original base model. You can configure your VPC settings to access Bedrock APIs and provide fine-tuning model data in a secure manner, and you're good to go. We believe in offering the best-in-class foundational models. To that end, we have Amazon Titan model, including Titan text model for text summarization and generation, and Titan embeddings model for personalization and recommendation. We have Anthropic's Claude that is built with the latest research on safety and NLP to perform conversational and text processing. Bedrock also supports Stability AI's latest text-to-image and various image processing model. And we offer AI 21 Labs Jurassic 2 model. Now, let's take a closer look at Titan. Our Titan FMs are pre-trained on data sets that contain large volumes of information from diverse sources, enabling customers to build for a diverse set of use cases. They also support responsible use of AI by rejecting inappropriate content in the input prompts, but also filtering in the outputs any kind of inappropriate content like hate speech, profanity, and violence. Titan and our broad library of FMs in Bedrock have enabled our customers to start innovating with the right tools. Today, our customers are driving innovation with Bedrock with various foundational models for self-service customer chat, text analysis, report generation, post-call analysis. Customers like Sun Life, which uses Bedrock to experiment with generative AI applications that analyze market data and assess employee productivity. Bridgewater Associates, a premier asset management firm that is building and scaling Gen AI applications, leveraging these foundational models on Amazon Bedrock. And Philips, who will use Bedrock to develop Gen AI applications across its entire portfolio to support efficient clinical workflows, enhance diagnostic capabilities for their patients. Our customers are also putting Gen AI into action with the help of our Gen AI Innovation Center, a new program to help them accelerate success with tools like Amazon Bedrock. This includes customers like Lonely Planet and Ryanair, who are working with our teams to develop new use cases. So we are excited to see all of this momentum, and we will continue to support our customers' Gen AI use cases with all these best-in-class foundational models. That's why today we are offering even more choice in foundational models. We are excited to announce the addition of 2 new models from Cohere, Command and Embed. So Cohere Command is a text generation model for business apps like summarization, copywriting, dialogue, and Q&A. And Embed is our text understanding model that can be used for search clustering over 100+ languages. These two additions reinforce our commitment to make the best-in-class FMs available. In addition to this new provider, we are also excited to announce Stability AI's latest model, Stable Diffusion XL 1.0. We are also excited to announce the addition of Anthropic's Claude 2. Claude 2 now can take up to 100,000 tokens in each conversational prompt, meaning it can work over hundreds of pages or even an entire book. It can also write longer documents than its previous version. Claude is one of our popular FMs, and we know customers will be excited to take advantage of these functionality. All of this early success on Bedrock is built on years of experience of making the best-in-class pre-trained FM available on SageMaker Jumpstart, where customers can get their hands on latest pre-trained publicly available models from academia and industry. Jumpstart offers ML practitioners these deep model customization and evaluation capabilities like SageMaker Studio, SageMaker SDK, and Console, using which they can actually go do all these customizations. And new models are added on a weekly basis, like the Llama V2 we added last week. Now, I'd like to introduce one of our customers to the stage to share how they are leveraging ML and generative AI to help businesses simplify the journey from unified data to personalized customer experiences. Please welcome Gabrielle Tao from Salesforce.
Thank you, Swami. It is a great honor to be here with you today. Salesforce is the world's leading CRM, providing a suite of applications across sales, service, marketing, commerce, analytics, and more, and now Data Cloud, that enable businesses to better connect with their customers. I represent Salesforce Data Cloud, and we leveraged AWS services to create machine learning, Gen AI, and build a solution that helps our companies who are our customers, use all of those data in a harmonized fashion, create insights, and deliver personalized experiences, all at hyperscale. That is certainly not easy today. On our planet, there are more devices than there are humans. As more and more disconnected data grows, it becomes harder and harder to connect with the customers. At Salesforce, we recently did some research and found that 60 to 70% of the respondents expect companies to understand and even anticipate their needs. And yet a full 56% of them feel that most companies treat them just as a number. How could they not? An average company has 976 applications. To better understand customers' needs, there really needs to be a more unified understanding of the customers. So Salesforce has been on this journey. Last year, we announced Salesforce Data Cloud to help you create a single source of truth of your data with an openness that is unprecedented in a data platform, a zero ETL framework, accessing your data where they are. Side by side and deeply merged with the CRM platform, it is a foundation that underpins future innovations at Salesforce. It is built on our high-performance infrastructure and backed by quite a few AWS services, EKS, EMR, and many others. Backed by these wonderful backend services, we built a lot of no-code application features, including transform, identity, insight segments, and more, catering not just to the data persona, but the analyst and business personas as well, democratizing big data. Now, while Salesforce Data Cloud can handle this entire data pipeline, we really believe that the latter half of this is most important, because personalized experiences are the most impactful when delivered at the moment that matters the most to the customer. And so this last step here, act, is critical. As such, we've created the ability to proactively trigger out actions based on any and all data and insight changes. As a customer's status changes, as a propensity score changes, for example, in the moment, we trigger these data signals out everywhere to all application systems, including Salesforce's. Over the last year, we've worked with Amazon SageMaker to bring this bring your own AI capability, which drastically reduces the operational burden of maintaining and using AI. We work with Amazon SageMaker because our customers love it, and because it's easy to create a seamless experience for our joint users. With our integration, you can access Data Cloud data, zero ETL style, build AI models in SageMaker, and then only invoke those models' inferences as needed and in real time from Data Cloud. For example, if you have 50 million customers, 20 product categories, 5 AI models, so 5 billion scores in total, traditional AI ML ops probably have you batch scoring all of these 5 billion combinations across the board every single day, and then copying them everywhere to different systems, just in case any one of those scores needs to be used in any one of those systems any given day. With our integration, you don't have to do that. Let's take a look at it in action. In the first 2 steps here, users access and explore Data Cloud data and insight within Data Wrangler, where they can do further AI feature engineering as needed. Third step, data scientists train and build AI models in SageMaker Studio. When a model is ready for production, a project template automates the deployment of an invocation endpoint, which can then be registered in Data Cloud, last step there. Now, we have seen many wonderful real-world applications of this feature. In one case, a company streams their device data into Data Cloud, which then enriches them with unified profile data, calculates some real-time insight, then decides to invoke a retention churn model inside AWS, and runs a campaign to target those customers at risk of churn, as well as exposes all of those engagement events, timeline insights immediately to the sales and service reps. In the same way we've automated prediction-based triggers, we're now looking at Gen AI so that the right action at the right moment can be combined with the right content. Earlier this year, our company announced our foray into the world of Gen AI with Einstein GPT. Now, this bring your own AI capability can incorporate access to a wide range of large language models from Amazon Bedrock, including Amazon Titan, without you having to manage infrastructure yourself. As you saw earlier, you can easily and securely access Data Cloud data from your AWS. Now, just as easily and securely, you can use those data to fine-tune models within Bedrock. Customized models of your choice inside Bedrock can then easily be registered as inference points in Data Cloud, just the same for use in Salesforce. What might it look like in action? Suppose right now you have a customer, important customer, browsing on your website for one of your company's product info. It triggers real-time insights and decisioning in Data Cloud, which then decides to invoke the propensity to buy model, this time in AWS. The retrieved propensity score, along with the product info itself, are both fed into a Gen AI prompt. And a call to Amazon Bedrock is made where a fine-tuned model tailored for your company's needs is waiting and is used to generate amazing content. This entire flow is automated, and at the end, a sales rep gets notified and sees a Gen AI suggested email along with all the engagement events, timeline, insights, so they know what led to this moment and why they're getting the email, which they can then use to contact the customer at exactly the right time with the most relevant content. We believe that Gen AI can be a generational opportunity to create the most incredible customer experiences. And great AI is going to need great data and an action system to deliver those timely, relevant moments. Looking forward, Salesforce Data Cloud will power Einstein GPT, grounded with real-time and harmonized data, along with the ability to bring your own AI, such as that from SageMaker, access LLM, such as that from Bedrock. AWS is really helping us seize this opportunity to create a solution that helps companies unify their data and drive AI-optimized interactions at scale in a meaningful manner. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gabrielle. as you saw with Salesforce, fine-tuning is one way to customize these foundational models for your use cases and create innovative customer experiences. While these foundational models are incredibly powerful and have a robust understanding of natural language, they still require a lot of manual programming to complete complex tasks, like booking a flight or processing an insurance claim. That's because out of box, FMs are not able to access up-to-date knowledge like recent company-specific data. They are also unable to take specific actions to fulfill your customer requests. To make this happen, developers need to follow a number of resource-intensive steps. Let me walk through a specific example. In this scenario, a customer wants to exchange black shoes for brown shoes purchased through an online retailer. They use the site's customer service chat interface to communicate their request, confirm the availability of the desired color and shoe size, and receive the confirmation of exchange. These requests sound pretty reasonable, but to code it up on a regular software, it will take months. With foundational models, it can be actually done faster, so you would think it's pretty simple, right? While this looks like an easy exchange for foundational models, developers need to follow a series of time-consuming tasks, like defining instructions and orchestration, configuring these foundational models to access company-specific data sources, and writing custom code to execute various actions through a series of API calls. And finally, developers must set up cloud policies and hosting and security controls. All of these steps can take weeks, if not more. Let's take a look at each of them more in detail. For the first step, developer needs to orchestrate a complex system between the foundational models, software systems, and end users to complete this task. They need to enable the foundational model to break down them into multiple steps and give instructions like you're a shoe return agent, as well as contextual history from different chat sessions. While this is critical for FM to produce the best response, the process of crafting and refining can take weeks. That's because this is very manual, requires a lot of trial and error, and each FM requires a different format. Then you need to make sure FMs have the right data to fulfill the request. Developers need to configure the FM to have access to up-to-date knowledge sources, which in this case is the online retailer's most recent return policy and customer history. This process is known as retrieval augmented generation, also known as RAG. RAG enables foundational models to leverage the most recent data, convert the data into machine-readable format, and then program the FM to query the data source for a more accurate response. Then, to complete the task and exchange the shoes, developers need to write code so that the FMs can take action and make series of API calls like placing a customer order, confirming the order, and calling to send a confirmation email. All of these needs to be done in the right series. Finally, developers must host all of these agents and their generative AI apps, set up the right policies, security settings, alerts, networking, all these things. So what started out looking like a pretty simple task with these foundational models is actually pretty complicated. Who wants to do that for every generative AI-powered task? We believe this should be a lot easier for developers to do. That's why today, I'm very excited to announce the preview of agents for Amazon Bedrock. This is a net new capability for developers to enable generative AI applications to complete tasks in just a few clicks. With a few clicks, Agents for Bedrock configures your foundational models to automatically break down and orchestrate these tasks without having to write any code. The agent securely connects your FM to the right data source through a simple API, automatically converts your data into machine-readable format, and augments the user's request with relevant information to generate a more accurate response. And agents in Bedrock can take action by automatically making the right API calls on your behalf. And you do not have to worry about complex systems and hosting them because it is fully managed. Now, let's take a look at the same example now with the agents for Bedrock. With this functionality, the developer only needs to follow a really few simple steps. First, they use the Bedrock console to select the desired FM. Then, to define instructions or orchestration, they use a setup wizard and give basic instructions like you're a polite customer service agent and update inventory levels. Then, the developer will select data sources like return policies without writing any code that enables the FN to retrieve relevant information. And then finally, the developer simply specifies the Lambda functions to execute these API calls. With these simple basic steps, developer is able to quickly fulfill the customer requirement without weeks of manual coding. I am excited for our customers to drive innovation with this new capability, while also reducing the heavy lifting associated for development teams. But there is another critical element underpinning all of this innovation that will allow you to derive even more value with Gen AI. That is your data. As you saw with Bedrock agents and Salesforce, while FMs are incredibly powerful out of the box, to be truly useful to your organization, they need access to the right data sources. Your data is your differentiator for Gen AI. And to ensure you have right, relevant, high-quality data to train your models or customize these FMs for your use cases, you need a strong data foundation. To build a strong data foundation, you need access to a comprehensive set of data services that account for the scale, volume, and diversity of your use cases. This is where AWS offers a broad and deep set of data capabilities that support your end-to-end data journey, from storing, querying, and analyzing data to putting your data into work through business intelligence, machine learning, and generative AI. We also have services that help you easily integrate and govern your data. The good news is that all the investments you have made to build this strong foundation will serve you well for Gen AI. But there is one tool you will likely need to add to your data foundation if you have not done that already. Tools for storing and retrieving your vector embeddings. Vector embeddings are produced by foundational models and used in Gen AI applications to produce more relevant responses to your end users. Let's take a quick look at how they work. Think of vector embeddings as numerical representations for text, image, audio, and video data. Well, humans can understand the meaning and context of words. Machines can only understand numbers. So we had to translate them into a format that's suitable for ML. By assigning a number to the different feature of each word, we can view vectors in a multi-dimensional space and measure the distance between them. Words that are related in context will have vectors that are closer together, which helps machine understand the similarities and differences between words. For instance, a cat is closer to a kitten, whereas dog is closer to a puppy. By comparing embeddings in this way, the model will produce more relevant and contextual responses than word matching. While embeddings are not new for machine learning-based apps, their importance is growing fast with the availability of generative AI and natural language processing. For example, they can superpower semantic search for use cases like rich media search and product recommendation. In this scenario, you can see that semantic search greatly enhances the accuracy of the output query for bright-colored golf shoes. In addition to semantic search, embeddings can be used to augment your prompts for more accurate results through RAG, as we saw in the agents example. But in order to use them, you will need to store them in a database with vector capabilities. Today, AWS offers vector database capabilities for popular services like Amazon OpenSearch Service, Aurora Postgres, and RDS Postgres. Customers can use these services to store and search embeddings used in their ML and GenAI apps. Co-locating your vector embeddings with your data makes the process of joining data with embeddings a lot easier and reduces data duplication. You also don't need to worry about the maintenance, versioning, and licensing of a separate database, let alone keeping them in sync. So now let's dive a little deeper into how vectors work on our OpenSearch service. OpenSearch service is a fully managed service for real-time search, monitoring, and analysis of business and operational data. Today, customers use OpenSearch to store multidimensional vector embeddings to power applications like chatbots, multimodal search, personal assistants, and recommendation engines. OpenSearch customers like that they can store their vectors with their data on a daily basis. But storing billions of vector embeddings and quickly searching those embeddings with OpenSearch service requires developers to configure, manage, and scale these clusters. That means you require dedicated resources or expertise that not all organizations have. To make generative AI accessible to more builders, we wanted to make it easier to leverage the powerful vector capabilities in our OpenSearch. That's why today, I'm very excited to announce the preview of our vector engine for OpenSearch serverless. So this vector engine offers simple, scalable, and high-performing vector storage and search without having to manage any infrastructure. Developers can store vectors alongside business data and text, making it really easy to query embeddings, metadata, and the associated data all from a single API call. And because it's serverless, developers don't need to manage clusters or worry about production scale. So now, not only are you going to need tools like vector databases and a comprehensive set of services to support your GenAI strategy, but you also want to make sure that those data services and data they store are integrated. When you connect the dots with your data across your department, services, on-prem databases, and third-party applications, you're able to power generative AI to create remarkable experiences. We have been working on this data integration problem for a while now. Today, we offer a federated query capability in Amazon Redshift, our petabyte-scale data warehouse, and Amazon Athena. So you can run queries across these services and a wide range of data sources and third-party apps. We have integrated SageMaker with Redshift and Aurora. So with a simple SQL prompt, you can make ML predictions without having to write any code. And Aurora now supports zero ETL integration with Redshift so that you can bring your transactional data from Aurora to do real-time analytics in Redshift. But for some use cases, bringing data together is just a part of the solution. For example, you may need to perform additional work to match and link related data records. This is a common problem we see across financial services, retail, and advertising, where records are often siloed across different applications, channels, and data stores. So imagine I run a customer experience at an airline, and I want to deliver more recent relevant trip recommendations to my customers. I will need to incorporate recent interactions from the launch experiences, loyalty programs, and customer support into a unified profile to deliver the best trip options to each customer. However, these disparate records often contain incomplete or conflicting information, which creates the problem of matching really difficult. To address this, companies spend months of development time to build complex matching rules and systems that tend to be very fragile. So we wanted to make this process easier. So today, I'm excited to announce the general availability of AWS Entity Resolution. This is a new ML-powered service that helps companies easily match and link related data records. With this new service, you can now set up easy-to-use entity resolution workflows in just minutes instead of weeks. Entity resolution uses matching techniques like rule-based matching to quickly link related information into a unified ID. You can also apply a powerful ML model to match related data sets when there are incomplete or conflicting information. Entity resolution reads records directly from S3, protecting your data by minimizing data duplication. And soon, we will add partner integrations with LiveRamp and TransUnion, and an integration with open source advertising framework like Unified ID 2.0 to translate or enrich data records with common industry identifiers. When you combine the power of ML with your data, you're able to accomplish some pretty amazing things. Now, I'd like to welcome another customer to the stage that is using the data to build an AI-powered infrastructure and build innovative Gen AI applications. Please welcome Lindsay Silver from Fox.
Thank you all for being here and joining me today to talk about AI on one of the most important days, one of the most important years I think we can say we've had in the AI space. I'm Lindsay Silver, the head of data at Fox, and I'm really excited to talk to you today about how we're using AI to change the face of media and give superpowers to our broadcasters, advertisers, and products. If you don't know Fox, Fox is one of the US's largest media companies. We have brands that span entertainment, sports, news, and now at Tubi, an incredible platform for free content on the web. So I invite you to try it out. It's great. We have some new movies on this year that are really cool. We have a huge footprint. We have over 300 million monthly active users. That means 300 million people see one or more pieces of content on Fox every month. We have over 6 million people who see our NFL broadcasts each game in the fall. And we collect over 50,000 data points per second about our audiences, about our content, about our business and our operations. That's a massive footprint. But we're not here to talk about data as an ingestion point. We're here to talk about how to learn from data and how to use AI to make a business better. At Fox, I like to think about learning as a human process. So I like to jump back to the very start of time when humans started documenting crop cycles, documenting tax rolls, in an effort to automate the process of learning in society. We've been doing this as humans forever. In 1923, Nielsen came around, and in the media industry, they started documenting how media was performing in an effort to help advertisers and media companies learn and feedback on data in real time. This was a human process. It was slow. It was blocky. It wasn't until the 80s that we started automating these steps. We started getting better at observation with digital products. We started getting better at synthesizing data with forecasting, with meteorology and finance. We started getting better at making automated decisions in advertising. And then we started acting again. We're turning a corner in the last couple of years. For the first time ever, large language models and GANs have allowed us to take data and go straight from observation back to a product that we can act on. It means generating content, generating responses in chat, generating images that we can take directly back and act on. At Fox, we view this as a huge boon to our business, but we view it differently than some might think, as a way to supercharge how our producers and our editors and our broadcasters and advertisers work with us. In order to do that, we need foundations. We need a platform for driving this change. And that starts with our data sources. Fox takes in hundreds of different data sources across our brands, across our operations, and feeds them into an infrastructure largely built on Amazon. We're extremely proud of the infrastructure we built, but also proud of the relationship and the technologies that Amazon provides us with, from data infrastructure through to our AI and ML tool chain, and then all the way up to our application stacks. These let us do things that otherwise would never be possible at a company like Fox. We use this infrastructure as part of a larger platform that includes a growing AI catalog of proprietary Fox-built models that span sports, content, audience, and now generative AI. We plug those in through predictive APIs to technologies that we've built that span our operation, span our advertising business, and also our consumer products. And then we bring those directly into our consumer interfaces through dynamic recommendations, through sportscasting applications, and operational changes. It's a powerful system that then feeds back into our core data sets. And that feedback loop becomes the core of how Fox uses data, powers AI. So let's see what we can do with this platform. The first is Foresight. Foresight has been a product that's been in the works at Fox for several years, is now powering sportscasters across multiple sports that Fox broadcasts. It's a heads-up interface that allows us to use AI to provide deep knowledge and insight to our sportscasters and to create graphics on the fly that overlay the game with important context about the players, about the referees, and the matchups. It's a really exciting product. As we get into our next generation of Foresight, we're looking toward LLMs and GANs to help us create even more dynamic content with this product. Fox as a media company wouldn't be anything without our advertisers. We try to create experiences that are the best both for our end users and consumers as well as our advertising clients. Fox Atlas allows us to do that. Atlas takes the data that we know about our videos at any given point in time and makes it accessible to advertisers so that they can target very specific points in our video where their content will align well. This could be anything from a moment in the Super Bowl where we have a touchdown to a moment in a show or a program that mentions their product. It's an extremely exciting product. It's in production now and continually evolving as we go. Lastly, one of my favorites and one I'm extremely proud of, our Catch Up with Highlights product. This is a direct-to-consumer product that we launched last year at the World Cup, and it's running again at the Women's World Cup now. The challenge with any sort of sport is that people often tune in mid-game. Heretofore, our editors would have to produce summarized versions of that game and catch-up moments all throughout the game, and it's an extremely laborious process. Now, using AI that spans both sports and computer vision, we're taking and automatically compressing our games at any given moment in time to the most important points, allowing our consumers to consume a short summary of the game before they tune in across all of our applications. So next time you watch a game on the Women's World Cup, if you tune in late, this will be the first thing you see, and it's an extremely exciting moment for us on our data teams and our using AI. So what's next? Generative AI has allowed us to start thinking about context more deeply. Fox cares about moments. We care about creating content that really matters to people, and we understand that that content is extremely rich. The end of the Argentina-France game last year at the World Cup was actually the combination of a huge amount of context. Everyone was asking, what would Messi do next? Everyone was saying, wow, that was one of the greatest shootouts in history. When was the last time that we had a World Cup end that way? Everyone was wondering about the referees, about the stadium. There was a huge amount of context there. That's context that our teams really want to cover. They want to bring that to fore, but it's extremely laborious to do that. Using generative AI for the first time, we're able to start creating content about that context in real time as moments happen, so that our editors, our producers, and our production teams can focus on that core moment while having that superpower of creating additional content. It's extremely cool, and we're rolling this out across our brands, across our sports, and you'll see these percolate in, not as a replacement to content. We're really focused on continuing to up the quality and the scale of the content we can produce, but as a complement to that content. And you'll see this throughout everything that we do in the future. We're really excited about it. We're really excited about the technologies that Swami and the teams have talked about today. We can't get enough of it, and we look forward to the future. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Lindsay. It's great to see how customers like Fox can leverage a strong data foundation to build AI apps. So far, we have explored how you can customize the foundational model in Bedrock and leverage your data foundation to build powerful new customer experiences. But many of our customers will get value from generative AI when it is built directly inside our services and applications. By building this technology into more of our services, we are making them even easier to use, increasing productivity across your organization. For example, Gen AI has enormous potential for analysts and business users that want to quickly access their data for more strategic decision making. Every organization I meet with wants to become more data-driven. Companies that can tap the value of their data can build and innovate faster. For example, when a sales team can better understand conversion rates from free tier to paying accounts, they can optimize marketing and sales programs. Customers have told us that getting these type of insights from their data can be really difficult, even after a huge amount of investment in their analytics infrastructure. We believe it should be easier for organizations to extract insights and share them across their organization. That's why we built Amazon QuickSight. QuickSight is our unified business intelligence service that allows insights to be shared across the organization for data-driven decision making. It helps companies quickly analyze their data through tools like dashboards, paginated reports, and embedded analytics. One of the most powerful capabilities of QuickSight is Q. Q enables users to ask any questions of their data using natural language and get answers in just seconds without having to write SQL queries or learning BI tool. We have been using generative AI models to power Q since its launch in 2020. Since then, we have learned quite a bit on how users would like to use natural language to get value from their data. And also, these foundational models have become more and more powerful. These two things made us ask, so with all the innovation in generative AI, how would we reinvent every aspect of a BI system, right from data preparation to data analysis to dashboard authoring to creating these data presentation and stories? How can we reinvent BI? That's why today I'm excited to announce new generative BI capabilities in Amazon QuickSight. Now, let's take a quick look at a couple of examples of how generative BI simplifies and accelerates getting insights from your data. For anyone who has used BI tools, you know dashboards are extremely powerful to share data insights. But business analysts spend a lot of time and struggle to develop the right data visuals. They spend significant amount of time exploring data and identifying the right fields and filters to create visuals. If you had to create a calculation, something like monthly percentage increase in sales revenue, they need to look up the syntax and identify right data sets and test their calculation. Once they build the data set and then build the visual, they spend even more time fine-tuning the format to match the desired styling. With the new generative BI capabilities in QuickSight, business analysts can do all of it in natural language and fine-tune visuals in just seconds and add them to their dashboards. This new authoring experience also enables these analysts to create calculations with just simple natural language, just like what I said, monthly percentage increase in sales. And they do not have to learn any specific syntax. Creating a new dashboard or calculation is now as simple as asking a few questions. And also, to help our ideas really take flight, we need to use our data to tell stories. For instance, a marketing manager may need to create a data-driven presentation to request additional budget for hosting an event in New York City. Today, they will need to spend a lot of time extracting data, summarizing results, and creating presentations. Because they are often exported into a PDF or PowerPoint, they can quickly become outdated, and then recreating them is a slow, manual process. With the new generative BI capabilities in QuickSight, it can help with this too. Now with Gen BI, business users can automatically generate a story or a visual presentation of their QuickSight data using natural language prompts. Simply type the description of a story in English to create a compelling visual with data from relevant dashboards. After the story is generated, they can modify it as needed and securely share it with their business teams. We are excited to bring more generative BI capabilities to QuickSight in the future. Now we talked about BI. How else can we use generative AI across our services to improve productivity? One example is Amazon Code Whisperer, our AI coding companion for developers. Code Whisperer generates code recommendations from natural language prompts based on contextual information, such as developers recently opened prior code and comments. And it is the only coding companion with built-in security scanning for hard-to-detect vulnerabilities, and a built-in reference tracker that detects whether a source code recommendation may be similar to a particular training data. This makes it easier for developers to decide whether to use their particular recommendation in their projects. During preview, we ran a study, a productivity challenge, that showed participants who used Code Whisperer were 27% more likely to complete their task successfully, and they did it 57% faster on average. Customers and partners like Infosys, Public Sapient, and HCL Tech are empowering their developers to drive innovation with Code Whisperer. And Python developers within our own Amazon Ads team have found that Code Whisperer makes it seamless for them to pick up new languages like Java, and they don't have to constantly look up documentation and syntax. Now, because we know how much time our builders are spending in writing code, we are also looking to integrate Code Whisperer into many of our services. One of those services is AWS Glue, which makes it easy to integrate data from multiple sources, from analytics, machine learning, and application development. Glue provides multiple interfaces for customers to build data integration jobs. And the common interface is Glue Studio, which enables data engineers, analysts, to build data integration jobs. However, when you think about authoring these complex ETL pipelines, users still need to understand Glue and several AWS services, which means they spend a lot more time doing research on the appropriate syntax and best practices, and less time actually solving their problem. To help users build data integration jobs faster, I'm excited to announce a Code Whisperer integration with Glue Studio. This is an AI-powered ETL coding assistant for data engineers, analysts, and developers to author Glue jobs. With this integration, simply write code or comments in natural language in Glue Studio notebooks to receive code suggestions and syntax corrections from Code Whisperer in real time. You can easily accept suggestions or decline and keep writing your custom code. And this integration is optimized for data sources like S3, RDS, and Redshift. It is the best coding companion to build applications on AWS. So, while generative AI is enhancing productivity for developers, data scientists, and analysts, these technologies are also creating business process improvements for frontline employees across a variety of industries, from healthcare to automotive. Let's dive deeper on healthcare for a moment. AWS offers a portfolio of purpose-built services that empower our healthcare and life sciences customers, including providers, payers, and IT vendors, to manage and transform healthcare data at scale. This also includes software vendors that build highly critical, high-performance applications for clinical settings and telehealth apps to help streamline workflows and reduce administrative tasks for physicians and providers. We hear that one of the most common healthcare industry pain points is the amount of time it takes for clinicians to write detailed documentation for each patient visit, which often takes away the time from the face-to-face interactions with the patient. To solve this problem, healthcare software vendors are exploring how to leverage generative AI to automatically generate these clinical notes. But building these type of applications requires significant amount of engineering resource and AI expertise to take these foundational models for medical use cases. On top of all of these challenges, healthcare apps need to meet stringent industry security requirements. We wanted to make this easier to address this pain point for clinicians. That's why today, I'm very excited to announce the preview of AWS Health Scribe. This HIPAA-eligible service provides automatic note generation for clinical applications. Health Scribe leverages automatic speech recognition and generative AI to automatically analyze consultation audio, identify speaker roles for patients and clinicians, extract the relevant medical terms, and generate the preliminary clinical notes. With Health Scribe, healthcare software vendors can create applications that reduce the burden of clinical documentation. It supports the responsible use of AI by including references to the original transcripts for every sentence in the AI-generated clinical notes. This really makes it easier to validate the accuracy of the summary in their application before they enter it into the EHR. Security and privacy features are also built in to ensure input audio and output text are not stored in Health Scribe. Customers like 3M Health Information Systems are leveraging Health Scribe as the foundation to help expedite, refine, and scale the delivery of their clinical documentation and virtual assistant solutions. It is clear that generative AI has the power to transform healthcare and life sciences industry in many ways. Let's see how another company, Merck, is using AI to solve a common problem in the pharma industry.
Our global pharmaceutical company, Merck, has brought hope to humanity through development of important medicines and vaccines. And today, we're at the forefront of research to deliver innovative health solutions that advance prevention and treatment of diseases in people and animals. A common problem across pharmaceutical industry is the occurrence of false rejects during drug inspection process. To investigate this problem holistically, we needed to ingest product genealogy data, process data, quality data from various manufacturing systems, and real-time data from inspection machines, and then contextualize and harmonize this data. That's why we turned to AWS and AI ML to solve the challenge. We use AWS Glue and Kinesis to ingest, transform, and contextualize, process, and real-time data, and run analytics on that data, load that data into Redshift, which is then used by our analytics dashboards. Our AI ML platform is built on Amazon SageMaker, We leverage AWS Data Sync to ingest defect image data from inspection machines across sites. Our inference pipelines look up our model registry for all deep learning models for these images, runs those models at scale, classifies the images, and saves those inferences into DynamoDB, which is then served up by our consumption apps. We use generative AI approaches and generative models like GANs and variational autoencoders to develop synthetic defect image data for complex defects where we have limited training data. The insights gained have helped us to understand root causes of rejects, optimize processes, and reduce overall false rejects across various product lines by more than 50%. It is gratifying and motivating to know that the work we are doing has a direct impact on patient lives in terms of improving the availability of life-saving medicines and vaccines.
What a great story. Whether you're building applications with FMs in Bedrock or SageMaker, or using our ML-powered services, we will continue to invest in making AWS the best place to harness the power of generative AI and ML for all types of industries. But making the most of Gen AI and ML requires more than just tools. A successful Gen AI strategy includes a strong infrastructure foundation that can support the massive scale, power, security, and reliability needs of enterprise apps. Whatever customers are trying to do with these FMs, if they are building them, customizing them, they need the most performant, cost-effective infrastructure that is purpose-built for machine learning. AWS has been investing with our partners and in our silicon for more than 10 years to offer a broad choice of high-performance, low-cost ML infrastructure. That is why AWS is uniquely positioned to help our customers accelerate their innovation with Gen AI. For example, we have a broad choice of accelerators for customers, including our GPU-based solution. AWS was the first to bring NVIDIA GPUs to the cloud more than 12 years ago, and we have collaborated with them to deliver large-scale, high-performance GPU-based solutions for applications such as AI/ML, graphics, gaming, and HPC. Companies have been using these GPU-based instances to speed up ML, and they have scaled their ML training workloads up to 10,000 GPUs. But as our customers are continuing to push the boundaries of these large-scale, large language models, they are training and deploying more sophisticated models. As a result, they are very eager for the most up-to-date solutions that help them gain a strategic edge to make their model training faster and at scale. That's why today I'm excited to announce the general availability of Amazon EC2 P5 instances. These instances are optimized for generative AI and powered by NVIDIA H100 Tensor Core GPUs. They are ideal for training and running inference for these increasingly complex LLMs that have more than hundreds of billions of parameters. P5 instances will provide the highest performance in our portfolio, accelerating performance by up to 6x and reducing training costs by up to 40% as compared to EC2 P4 instances. P5 instances are deployed in second-generation EC2 Ultra clusters, which scale up to 20,000 GPUs interconnected with petabit-scale non-blocking network. This enables us to deliver 20 exaflops of aggregate compute capability. Now, beyond our collaboration with NVIDIA, we have more than a decade of experience designing and building silicon, and we have applied our own learnings to create innovative purpose-built silicon for your ML and AI workloads. We recently announced general availability of EC2 Inf2 instances powered by our Inferentia chip, custom-built chip for ML inference. These instances deliver up to 40% better inference price performance than comparable EC2 instance. And our TRN1 instance delivers up to 50% savings on training costs, where we offer high performance for deep learning training and inference with significant cost savings. Our customers are seeing impressive results as they build deep learning models and foundational models using these instances. For instance, Finch AI deployed their translation models on AWS Inferentia and saved 80% on cost while maintaining the same throughput. Our ability to deliver high performance at the lowest cost in Amazon EC2 is why customers like Airbnb, Sprinklr, and Autodesk use our purpose-built accelerators for their most demanding ML workloads. With these purpose-built accelerators, as well as the latest EC2 P5 instances, our customers have a highly performant and differentiated set of tools to address their largest ML challenges. These infrastructure investments will support your GenAI strategy as you experiment and quickly scale your applications for a wide variety of your use cases. Now, many of our customers have accelerated their use of generative AI in just the past few months. And we know many of you are eager to get started as well. And because we know this technology is new to so many, we are also making it accessible through a variety of training opportunities. In addition to our broader library of digital courses on AWS Skill Builder, as well as programs like AWS Academy, Restart, and Educate, we offer now a new collection of free and low-cost trainings to help people understand, implement, and begin using generative AI. For example, we recently launched a training on Coursera called Generative AI with Large Language Models, a course built by AWS experts with Dr. Andrew Ng from deeplearning.ai. This is a great opportunity to learn about LLMs and get hands-on experience from selecting, training, fine-tuning, and deploying these for your applications. We also offer free courses using Code Whisperer for executives who want to address their business challenges and for partners who want to build GenAI apps. Now, to sum it all up, we have covered a lot of ground today and shared several new tools and innovations to help you start working with generative AI on AWS, with a wide selection of foundational models and tools in Amazon Bedrock. New set of generative AI-powered services to help drive productivity across your organization, and purpose-built machine learning infrastructure and GPUs for better performance and lower costs, and access to education and training opportunities. With all of these, AWS has everything you need to accelerate your generative AI journey. There is so much desire to learn more and experiment with this technology, and this is just the beginning. We have a lot more coming this year, and I'm excited to see what you can do to reimagine and transform your applications with generative AI on AWS. Thank you for your time today.